Cuthbert cooks in our basha, but also Cuthbert cooks for Worldchefs today, and together with VanDrie we're going to do a little bit of Emirati food, a little bit of a twist on a traditional whole lamb or whole camel. We've got some beautiful veal cheeks that VanDrie has sent over to us, and VanDrie is a great supporter of the World Association of Chef Societies, and the team from VanDrie, they come all the time to the Congress and give us great demos on their veal product and the great love and passion they have for their ingredients. So we're very lucky today to be working with some of these fantastic veal cheeks, and the reason I chose the veal cheeks is because the dish we want to make is something that you can slow cook. So the dish we're gonna be looking at is a take on a whole lamb or whole Ouzi, similar style that the way they cook it here in the Emirates and also for camel. So it's a very simple dish, but one full of flavour and one that's very traditional, especially at this time during the holy month of Ramadan. So the first thing we're going to do is to look at our spice mix, and we're going to make a spice mix that's called Bezar. Now Bezar, B-E-Z-A-R is one way to spell it, is a very traditional spice mix that is made differently throughout the houses. What do we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ingredients. Could be 8, could be 12, depends which house it's come from. So I'm going to make a very basic mix, which is with the cumin seeds, and then with the fennel seeds, and then we've got our coriander seeds. We're going to have our little bit of black pepper, and I've got some Hungarian dry chilies here that my mate Joe brought back from his mother-in-law, so we're going to use 1 or 2 of them in there as well. We don't want it, it's not an Indian spice, it's an Emirati, it's Khaliji spice, so it's used throughout the Gulf region, so it can't be that spicy. And then we finish it with a little bit of turmeric powder. So we're just going to make a tablespoon of each, yeah, so we just put it here. Maybe you can have a look, cameraman code. So there goes the coriander seeds are there, the fennel seeds, the cumin, and this spice mix is inherent to the cooking, to the cuisine of the Emirates. Now I know some of my Emirati friends will say, hang on a minute, it's not what my mum does, but as I said earlier, it is a tradition in each house to have their own secret recipe. A little bit of black peppercorns there. As I said earlier, we don't want it too spicy. We're looking for these flavours through from the whole spice, especially the coriander. And then we've got these beautiful hot, it's written here hot, from mother-in-law in Hungary, family dried chili. So I'm just going to add 1, because I think that'll be enough, because if mama has written hot, then it's going to be hot. Turmeric powder. Now the turmeric powder goes in later, so basically what we're going to do, and I think maybe we'll get a little close-up of this, cameraman code, as we just dry roast off those spices. So here we are at the stove. So we've got our dry spices. I'm going to leave the chili out, and we're just going to pop those in. We don't want to burn them. We're just going to gently toss these around in a hot pan until we start getting the aromas out. Learned this from my Indian colleagues when I first came here. We used to dry roast all the spices, because the spices just give the whole garam masalas and those things. So you can either do it in the oven, you can do it in a pan, but you've got to be careful. You don't want to be burning them, yeah? And we can already get the flavour coming through those different spices, and we're getting that real Khaliji, that real Gulf cuisine aroma coming out of the pan. And then we're just going to grind these in a pestle and mortar. That'll do it, that'll do us. And there we have so we've got the spice mix done. So it's ready to go into the pestle and mortar. And then we'll just break the chili up. I'm going to take some of the seeds out, because that could be a bit of a danger. Just going to break that up nicely. And we'll have a bit of a taste later on. I've got a couple of the seeds in there. We just want to get that a little bit small, and then we can get ready to pop this in our pestle and mortar. So we've got the ground spices here. They're just coloured nicely, not burnt. Don't burn them, whatever you do. Turmeric for later on. So now we just pop this into our little pestle and mortar. And then we can just grind We just grind the whole spices into a nice powder. That Emirati smell, that beautiful smell of the fennel, the cumin. And we do want it quite fine, so it will take us a little bit of time just to get that to the right, because we don't want to be, you don't want to be marinating and having these big chunks of the spices when you're eating. So that's ground down nicely. You can see that now. I'm just going to do the rest of that, and we'll get that done quick smart. Last ingredient for our beza, I nearly forgot. Turmeric powder. Kumkum in Arabic. Very healthy. Half a teaspoon. In with the beza. Really, the flavours are coming right up now from the roasted spices. So that's cool. And now another little taste. And that's brought that extra dimension in. We're just gonna, there's a couple of little crunchy bits still in there, so I'm just going to give this another, now that we've added the turmeric, give that a final grind. There we go. Back into our bowl. And there we go. So that's ready to marinate our beautiful VanDrie veal cheeks with. All right. Sharpen up our boning knife. Let's open one of these up. And as you can see, beautiful 1.1 kilo, nice and chilled. So have those in the fridge. Let's open this up. Beautifully packed, nicely vacuum packed as well. Out he comes. So what do we got here? We've got 4 cheeks per pack. Now, we can trim these up just a little bit. We don't want to take too much off them. Maybe a little bit of this sinew, because we're going to cook these a long time and we want them to melt down. And at the end of the day, this is a dish where there wouldn't be too much preparation of your goat, if you know what I mean. You would kill your goat, then you would potentially skin him, gut him, tidy him up, and then you would pop him in the pot, cut him up into 8 pieces. So I'm not going to really do too much to these, because I want to keep these. I want to keep the shape of these as well. I want that fat, because that's nice. Yeah, look, it's not so thick as well. So we're going to keep that. This little bit of sinew here we can take away. So you got the layers under here as well of the cheek, but with this, the way we're going to cook this, it's going to be quite. It's going to be eaten with a spoon. Is the way we want to do that. It's a great cut of meat though to use. Nice slow cooking, slow roast, slow braise, and that's all we're going to do with our veal cheeks. We're just going to slow braise them. Now the next little thing we do, we've got our meat ready, got bizza ready, salt, lemon juice, and this is the next little thing we do, is we get some of our beautiful Iranian saffron, and we're going to drop the saffron into the lemon juice. Don't be shy. Thanks to Michel Miriton for this beautiful saffron. Oh, so nice. So in the bowl, and then we're just going to crush that up. The colour's going to pour out of this. Not going to heat it up. Can heat it up if you want, but not going to. No need, because it's going to go over the top. We've washed our veal cheeks. We've got the lemon juice. We've got the bizza. We've got a bit of salt. And what we're going to do now, in this plastic container here, I've got the meat. All I'm going to do is sprinkle a little bit of the bizza over the meat and give it and just mix it up with my hands, because I want it to, it's not a dry rub, you know, it's a flavour. And then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of salt, going to add a little bit of salt to it as well. And then each one has got his own little amount of bizza. We've got the meat nicely done. I've got the saffron here, and we're just going to add that quite liberally to the meat. Baste him around, make sure we don't. So we've got the flavour of the saffron will also, and the colour of the saffron is going to come through. So we've got our 2 more. Just the lemon juice on top with the saffron. You can really smell that saffron, beautiful flavour of saffron coming through. Great Iranian saffron, I mean, nice and fresh, beautiful flavour, beautiful aroma coming off that saffron already. So the next thing we do, we're going to very thickly cut these onions, little purple onions, give lots of flavour. Going to put them in the bottom of my braising pan, and that'll just act as a little bed, just to get the little bit of flavour. I got some lovely olive oil here. I'm going to put that in the bottom as well. These are the loomies. So the loomies, they're dry lime. People bury them under the sand. Traditionally, they used to bury them under the sand to dry out. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut one in half, and I'm going to pop him into the braising pan. I just want to show you the inside. So that's the black inside of the loomie, and that'll just give us a little bit of flavour. Now we get our beautiful veal cheeks, our VanDrie Veal Cheeks, and we're just going to pop them just like that. That's all you do. Just pop them into the braising pan, and then aluminium foil. We're going to start with about 3 hours, 130 to 140 in the oven, and then I'll have a little bit of a poke around. Could take up to 5. Your Ouzis would take anything up to 8 hours under the ground. Your camels 12, 16 hours, just depending. Continuously putting the fire and tending to the charcoals to keep the heat. And there we go. So now we're going to see you back in a couple of hours' time. So while our VanDrie veal cheeks are in the oven slowly braising away, we're just going to start the rice. So we're going to do a rice called marhammer. Marhammer is a sweet rice, normally served with seafood, but I thought we'd give it a go I thought we'd give it a go with this because it's quite a nice rice. So we've got all sorts of ingredients. There's 2 parts of this. We have to cook the rice. So we've got our rice that's been soaking, and then we're going to cook it in quite a bit of water. Then we're going to strain it out and finish it off with a few ingredients. But in the water we're going to put cumin seeds, and we're going to put some cardamom seeds. You can use cardamom powder, or you can use whole cardamom seeds. So I'm going to use the whole cardamom seeds because it's just easy to pick out, and I'm not going to put too much. Now this recipe calls for quite a few cumin seeds, so 1 to about 6 cups of rice, this one. So 3 of those. Now cardamom, if you're not used to cardamom flavour, but it is a very Khaleesi Gulfi ingredient, so you can put quite a few in there. If you want to, you can, if you really want to, you could cook those off a little bit, but we're not going to do it. In goes the water. And now there's 2 ways of sweetening your marhammer rice. You can use just good old sugar, but to add a little bit more of the Khaleesi flavour, we're going to sweeten our water with dibs or date syrup. This is a date syrup from Saudi Arabia. So this is like a date molasses. So it's nice and thick. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to sweeten the water to taste. So I'm pretty sure we can put quite a bit of this in. It'll also give, if you use sugar, then you caramelize the sugar. And it gives the brown colour, and the rice will take on a little bit of that colour as well. And then at the end of it, that's probably quite enough. You can see the colour. Bring this one up to the boil. Gonna let it cook a little bit because we want the flavours to start to infuse. Yeah. So we've got that on the stove. We're going to put the lid on. What we do, we boil the rice for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to strain it out. Then we're going to put it back into a pot with a little bit of olive oil. Just slowly toss the rice in, and then we're going to flavour up we can flavour it up with rose water. You could use a mixture of rose water and orange blossom if you wanted to. So we're just going to add some rose water to the rice. And now all we do with the saffron is we don't, because it's moist already, we're just going to sprinkle some saffron stamens over the top of the rice. And the steam and the moisture from the rice will release the colour of the saffron. Lid on, seal, done. 20 minutes. Let him sit there, infusing the flavours, the steam coming up through the rice. That's just going to sit at the back of my stove. I'm going to put that in the back of the stove. I'm going to heat up my big pan. AMT pan, fantastic heavy pan this one. Got a lovely AMT pot. We're going to get our veal cheeks, the VanDrie veal cheeks, and we're just going to seal them off. I want to give them a little bit of extra caramelization, that's all, yeah? So we're just on 3 hours now that our little VanDrie veal cheeks have been in the oven, Ouzi style. So let's have a look. Oh, lovely. Beautiful. They have come out just beaut. You really get the smell of the bazaar. You get the smell of our saffron. We're just going to have a, oh yeah, all the way through. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Just so tender. As we can see, the saffron there has come in. So what we're going to do with these, we're just going to lift them out of the braising stock. We're going to let them rest a little bit. Here's the beautiful VanDrie veal cheeks. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Moist, yummy, perfect. Now what I'm going to do, what I've done, I've taken a bit of the cooking liqueur, and because it's such a beautiful flavour, I'm going to pour some of this over the finished product. But first what I want to do, I'm just going to give these a little bit of a seal. And by the time they're sealed off, I just want to get a little bit of caramelization, that's all. Yeah, they're nicely braised, but it'll just be nice, give them a little bit of extra kick. I really have to thank the team over in Holland, VanDrie, for their beautiful work with the Worldchefs. But you know, these cheeks have just lent themselves so well to this slow cooked dish from the Emirates, and you can see that the colours just, you know, coming beautifully on, and these are so tender. I mean, we're going to eat these with a spoon. We've got a very traditional salad which is made from rocket, feta cheese, a little bit of tomato, and we've got a little mint and cucumber yogurt. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil around our tomatoes because that's just yummy. We've got a bit of feta cheese in there. We've got rocket leaves. We've got spicy basil in there. We've got mint leaves. We've got a little bit of fresh za'atar, which is a local thyme. So that's a little yumminess there. Turn off my little sauce here. Done. I've got my big old presentation pot here. So from here, we've got this turned off. We're going to leave a little bit longer the rice, yeah, but then we're going to present in here, put our rice, put our veal cheeks, garnish him up, and voila. So this is going to be fun. Pop our rice into our dish. Now you could add some butter if you wanted to. The Iranians, they serve their rice with a bit of butter as well. We now bring our beautiful, the VanDrie Cheeks, go on top. You know, it's family style food, so it's served like this. I want the juice, so I just want to nap out just a little bit of this on top of each cheek. A little bit in the rice. Pop those in, beauty, absolutely gorgeous. Now we just add the cranberries. Just pop them over like that, just easy. You can mix them through the rice if you want. You can saute them off a bit. You can add some nuts, but I'm not going to. A little bit of sweet raisins just to get it there. And then we're going to pop a little bit of fresh coriander on top just to finish the dish with another special flavour from the Emirates. And we're going to serve our VanDrie veal cheeks with our lovely local tomato and green salad, a little bit of yogurt. And there we have it. So ladies and gentlemen, chefs, I hope you've enjoyed this little session of Cuthbert Cooks with Worldchefs, all the way from Basha in the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. It's a special time of year, Ramadan. I'm really happy to have been able to present this dish to you. Try it at home. It's very straightforward. There's not a lot of ingredients. It's just patience, a little bit of experimentation, and the great partnership that we have with Worldchefs and VanDrie, the Dutch veal producers out of the Netherlands. They produce some fantastic cuts available, where the Global Chefs final will take place during the World Chefs Congress in Abu Dhabi from the 30th of May until the 2nd of June, and VanDrie will bring their veal products again to Abu Dhabi, and they'll be used as part of the Global Chefs competition. So a big thank you from all the chefs to you at VanDrie in the Netherlands. Thank you so much for your continued support to the World Association of Chef Societies. And so, bon appetit, or as we say in Arabic, saten.